Give the green light to supersize and grow your business. Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here. And our idiom for today, as I put down my coffee, is to give the green light. Found this pack of green Pop Rocks, which I haven't had these since I was a kid. I'm not sure I'll eat them. They're watermelon, and they always explode in your mouth and can kind of feel weird. So probably not, but they were great for the video. Introduction of green, since I couldn't find any green clothes to wear today. So today our idiom comes from the railroad industry, where they used to use green lights, green and red lights, to signal when it was safe for a particular train to proceed on the track. Why? Because tracks are used for two-way traffic, right? Sometimes trains go one way on the track, sometimes they go the other way on the track. And so that they would have less collisions, because of course there were train wrecks, and there still are, they used that signaling system. And now we have green traffic lights, which mean, yes, you may proceed and go. Red means stop. Yellow means, believe it or not, people, stop, warning. Most people they think it means gun it through the intersection. So this idiom became popular with trains in the 18th century, but by the early 19th century, it had become used more generally to proceed with anything, to go forward with something. So if your boss or if you decide you're going to go forward with a business project, you give it the green light. Really common terminology. And I found a list of 10 things to do before you give a project or a business the green light. And I highly recommend each and every one of these. So I want to share the list with you quickly, which requires my magnifying glass. Number one, test your assumptions. We assume a lot of things when we want to do something, but we have to make sure we do our homework and investigate and actually make sure it meets these other criteria. So we have to think about, well, what are we assuming is going to happen if we do this or don't do this? Secondly, we want to ensure it's aligned with our key performance indicators, our goals and our values and our mission as an individual and as a business. We want to make sure it feels right for us and it is right for us before we go ahead and do it. Number three, we want to take a step back and look at the big picture, because again, just like testing our assumptions, we want to make sure that we're considering the consequences and the results and the impact of it on other things our company's doing. There's so many businesses that have actually taken on a project that ended up taking business away from another part of their organization, and maybe to their detriment. Fourth, we want to analyze the pros and cons. I am a big believer, of pros and cons, plus and minus analysis of decisions before we make them. And it's quick and easy, right? You take a piece of paper, one side you write all the reasons to do something, other side all the reasons not to. You kind of look at them and weigh them and say, do we want to even move forward with this or not? Number five, run the numbers. So often people forget to do projections. And again, it's your best guess and it's assumptions. But again, you're going to take a look and make sure those assumptions are conservative and make sense. But you got to run the numbers. Excuse me. What's it really going to cost you to implement the project, and what's the return going to be? What's your ROI? A lot of people forget to look at their ROI because they're so excited about a project. Number seven, we are going to organize the project first. I learned this in probably school, but in college for sure. When I was in my engineering program, they taught us a framework called Plan, Do, Check, Act. And I still use that today. And the emphasis was on planning so that you make sure you don't have defects and problems and challenges down the road. You spend 70 to 80% of your time planning the project up front and then doing it, acting on it, and checking to see if it worked out or not, and then going back and continually improving it. I still use that model today, that framework. Number eight, define what success looks like to you. So often we have these huge expectations for a project that are just totally unrealistic, and we won't think it's successful until we hit a certain milestone or a marker. And I think if we broaden our definition of success, we're much more likely to achieve it along the way and get our final outcome. Number nine, run some AdWords tests. I don't know how important this is. It depends on the project. It depends on the business that you're in, whether you're going to do an online AdWords test or not, to see if people are interested in it. And this is one of my favorite ones. Number 10, talk to real life customers. Talk to real life people that are going to be involved or impacted by the project. If it's an internal project to your organization, Jesus, talk to the people that are going to have to use this system or use the new software program or use the new tools or interact with customers based on applying the new tools, and answer questions as to why it messed up the quality of the end product, which it shouldn't happen because you're going to plan ahead. But ask real humans, real people, whether they want something or not, whether it's for them or not. Because a lot of times, remember being in corporate America, we would have these great ideas in the C-suite, and we would say, oh, let's roll this out to the entire organization, only to find out that we didn't know everything. Imagine that, not knowing everything. And we were making assumptions that were actually counterproductive and counterintuitive to what we thought was the right thing to do. So that's our idiom for today. I'd love to know your experience with this particular idiom. Give it the green light. I'm like one of those people that likes to ask for forgiveness instead of permission. So I didn't always ask to get the green light, but I always gave myself permission to take the green light when I wanted to do a project. All right, have an awesome day, and I'll, of course, be with you tomorrow.